Hey guys, you're watching the one and only. My name is AJ. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Build a Mini City. Today, I want to start off the episode by going through some of the most common suggestions that we get in the comment section for this series. I'm going to go through why I like some of them and why some of them I don't think work quite how some of you imagine in your head. The first one being is, AJ, why don't you use glass panes for the traffic light or street lights? Now, yes, we can sort of do something like that if I just get a stained glass one for now so we can see it. In this version of Minecraft, which is the most up-to-date recent version or latest version of Minecraft, they come in like a tube, like in a stick form, instead of like in the actual city series that runs on 1.7. You might remember that if you place down one glass pane, it does that, but like smaller. It does a cross section, but now glass panes and what else was it? Iron bars and stuff like that. They come in a stick, which works quite well. You know, you could definitely use that as some kind of street light. The only problem with this idea is, as you can see, it places it directly in the middle of a block, which means we can't really put them here, can we? Really? It's right in the middle of the road. And I can't exactly put them on the side either, because for one, it's too far away from the road. It doesn't make sense. You want it like right here. You want it on the corner of a block, if anything. But it also takes up the space. I've got auto jump on. Let's turn that off. I don't know. It just seems to like turn on randomly now and again. There we go. It's also taking up space for where buildings are going to be, obviously, which is a little bit of a pain. So unfortunately, we can't really do that idea. The second idea was using a cake for a building. Very interesting idea, very good idea. I like it a lot, this one, because it's actually shorter than a full block. You know, it's about half slab block. But it also has the side texture different to the top texture. So we could make our own building out of this with its own special roof that we don't have to place a carpet on top of, because obviously if we place the carpet on top, it'd be floating in the middle of the air. So I really like that. They don't place next to each other, which is also quite a good thing in most cases. When I first saw this suggestion, I thought, we can change these up to cakes, and that could be cool, but there's a little gap between it, and I don't know if I really like it, so maybe we'll have to use it for some other building. I don't exactly know. The third suggestion was, you guys keep saying that this skyscraper is way too short, that we should make all of these skyscrapers one block taller. Okay then, I can do that. We can see what it looks like, and see if you guys, still think that idea is good. It might be, I don't know. 1, 2... You said that would, you know what, I think you're probably right. I think that does look better. So we had like those skyscrapers one block too short. I think it makes a lot of sense. People weren't happy. Weather clear. People weren't happy that the road was at the same height as the skyscraper, which, yeah, I can understand, but I don't think it's that far off in the main city either. I think the bridge is actually pretty close to the height of this skyscraper, which is one of the shortest skyscrapers that we have in the city, so it's not too far off. Then the next suggestion was, the one that I like and that I want to try today is not slower. I want flower, sunflower. Why don't you use sunflowers to make the wind turbines? Now this idea could be amazing. So that's about where they are. This idea could be amazing. I don't know what the textures or like what makes up a sunflower inside the game files. You know, if it works how I think it would be, you know, we retexture the plant part to look like a white stick, and we retexture the circle part to look like the blades. Now I know might be a little bit out of scale. I don't know. It might not be. We'll have to see how it looks. I think it's a really cool idea, and I really hope that one works. The last idea, the most suggested idea, was to use paintings or item frames to cover up the sides of the roads. Now, I done a somewhat I'm sort of happy with it, somewhat temporary as well, cobblestone wall barrier in order to stop the ability to see the side of the blocks. Now, I really like the painting or item frame idea, but there are negatives with both. If I take out this corner here as a little test zone, the reason why we have the wall on there, if you don't know, is because we can see the side of the road textured block on the sides and not just on the top, so it makes it look very, very weird. Now, the paintings are great because we could retexture a single painting, you know, the same painting, and although it's going to be a pain to paste, to like find it over and over and over and over and over again to do the entire walls, it would work. Look, it would cover up the wall entirely. Imagine this just looks like the side of a bridge or, you know, texture, and we get like 3 sunflower ones or 3 tree ones, whatever. The only trouble is with paintings is that they can't go on the corners. So we could have one here, but I can't have one here because this painting's here. So then people sort of thought of that, and they said, well, why don't you use item frames? Now, item frames work great as well because we can actually fold them around the corners. We can have 2 taking up the same block space. However, as you may see, there is a downside to this as well. And the downside is that the texture that item frames have around the outside of their block is the same texture as what's used on one of these roads, if it be spruce planks or oak wood planks. I think it's probably oak wood planks. That texture shares the same texture as the outside of the item frame, which is a little bit of a shame. I could change the texture of the middle part. That's not a problem. I think that's like the texture of something. I can't remember. But I have done that before because we've done it in the city series and we made it invisible. But as you can see as well, we can see around the outside. We can see around the outside of the blocks. So I think paintings are the best way to go for this, even though it's more of a pain to get the same one. These paintings are really cool, though. The downside of these paintings, apart from not being able to place them all in the corners, is that it doesn't solve the half slab problem. I mean, we could do something like this. Sure. You know, we can have them all little creeper heads as we go down. Sure. Is that the way that we do it? Do we, like, not worry that we can see the top of this block at all? Or do we do 2 paintings? Do we make the creeper heads one painting and, like, the squids another painting? And then on the creeper ones, we only texture half of it. That would work on any road part that the slab is on the bottom half. And then if there's any parts that have the top half of the slab, which I don't think there are, we could do that. That could solve the problem. It would thin the bridge up a lot. It would actually make the bridge and the road a lot better in scale. I actually think that's an okay idea. And then these corner ones, there's nothing we can do about that, not that I know of. I'll be somewhat happy. We can sort of choose which ones we have visible at an angle that we hardly see as much, or we don't see as much. So, let's jump into Photoshop, and I really want to try out the sunflowers as a start to this episode, okay? I'll be back. Interesting. I did not expect that the sunflower is actually made up of 4 different textures. Sunflower, what is that? The double plant sunflower bottom, which is this one. Double plant sunflower top, which is like a shorter version of this. Double plant sunflower front, which is the front of the yellow part. And double plant sunflower back, which is the back of it. Now, we want the front and the back to be exactly the same. And we want the sunflower bottom part and the top part to be pretty much the same as well. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make a new layer. I'm going to make 2 new layers, but the first new layer, because we want this to be white, I'm actually just going to do a background of any color. So let's just make it, for the moment, just so we can see what we're doing, red. Perfect. Let's put that on top. Then we want another layer, and we can place this on top. We want the white now. The reason why I made the background red is because if we're placing white onto the transparent layer, we're not going to really be able to see it that well. So let's start off, I think this one. We want opacity way up there. There we go. So they're the 2 middle points. I don't think we want it that thin. I think we want to go to probably 4 or maybe even 6 blocks in width for this. Let's try 6. Something like that. And then we want to get rid of the left side and the right side. So we're going to get rid of that. And we can now get rid of this. Now we can barely see it. It's a little bit tough. Let's put a little tiny bit of... we'll do like a lighter shade on one side and a darker shade on the other side. Looks a little bit rounded then. Maybe we could even do it like that. I think it maybe looks a little bit more rounder. We'll see inside the game. So we can save that one. We can close that down. Oh, I should have probably... Can I open that back up again? Yeah, let's just copy that. And then we can open up the sunflower plant top. Now, as you can see, this is actually a little bit shorter. Obviously, the sunflower sits on top of this, so we don't want to extend it all the way up. If I paste this one on, I then want to remove a certain amount of it. So we want to get it down to the same level. Oh, right there. Like this. Make sure that we got rid of it all, because I haven't got my eraser on like 100% opacity by the looks. So we shall just plop those back in, make sure that they're nice and bright and vivid whites and greys. And then, again, remove the green. So that's not a hard one to do. Bing! We can save that one. And then the sunflower front and back. Now, these should hopefully be the same. And it looks like we've got a little bit more room to play with than I thought. Now, I don't know what orientation this sunflower goes at. I remember seeing this little clump while in the game. Can you guys see it if I do this? Oh, you can. Look at that little mini Minecraft. So it looks like, yeah, there's that little square that I was talking about. It does look like it actually places it this way up. Wonderful. I did not know that you could see Minecraft on my desktop mode. Anyway, does that mean that we can go out into this area and make the blades bigger? I really don't know. We're going to make a new layer. I'm going to make another red layer so we can see it a little bit easier. We're going to color it red. We're going to put the sunflower in front just so I can get the middle point nice and easy. We're going to start off with white. And we're going to... No, not make a rectangle. We're going to... I think that's the middle point. We're going to come off here in threes. We have 3 blades on these, so it's like a Mercedes car logo, if you like. Now, that does not mean that you go diagonally 45 degrees up this way, 45 degrees up that way, and straight down. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't split into 3. These 2 sides would have a more obtuse angle than the top one. The top one would have 90 degrees, the left ones would have like 105 or something like that. So you need to do a sort of balance. Now I think it's probably a good idea to make one of them 45 degrees. And I'm going to come, I don't know how many that is. It's going to take a little bit of work. And then this next one, let's say, is straight up. I know it's not, I don't think it is. And then that would mean this one would be something like this angle. Now that, you know, that isn't too bad. I think that's pretty close. This angle looks very similar to this angle and this angle. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's pretty close. Okay, let's extend. I don't think we can extend that one any further. I think we've got the lengths about right. And again, we want to do the same thing as what we've done on the main turbines. We have one side of it straight, and then the other side of it has a very slight curve to it. I suppose how it cuts through the air. So we want to put in a little bit, just a slight little curve in the blades. We want to keep the flat side the same. So on the left side of all blades, so this side is the flat side. This side has to be the side that curves around. It looks like we're going about 3 blocks in thickness here, but on a diagonal one, I think that sort of changes like that and like that. I think that looks roughly the same as this one, and then this one's going to be the most trickiest to get the same. We want something like this. Nope, that one. I think that's probably as close as we're going to get. I think we probably want to make that a little bit thicker around there. I think I should have made this a little bit thicker there. I think we should leave it like that. I think that feels really good. Let's take away the rear layer now, because we want to have a little red tip or little red lines on the end. That's what we've got in our mains ones, and I think it looks really sick like that. So we want to have a couple of those in. Let's do it. No, I think I liked it where it was. I think I like just a single one there. And I think we're about there. Should we do anything in the middle here? Like, do we make it rounder in the middle? I don't think we really can. I think we can go with a little bit of a darker or slight tint on one of the sides. Oh, I forgot to make a new layer. I'm going to have to remove the silly sunflower behind it by hand. That's a mistake that I've made. Don't worry about that. So we want to do a little bit of shading. For this, we want the shading on all of the bottom and all of the right parts. It's sort of a balance that we've been trying to do on all of the buildings. Bottom right is always where I do my shading. So we want to have something like that. That makes it a little bit neater then, I think. And there, yeah, why not? Okay, so all I've got to do is remove this, and then, oh, and I should really make it hard as well. I'll remove this and put the same texture on the back, and we'll be back to texture up the next thing. Okay, so I've got the paintings open now. It's one of my favorite parts of going through a texture pack that I haven't gone through before is looking at the paintings. I don't know why, I just find it really enjoyable. There's some really creative ones here. Like look at this one. It's got like redstone and food and cookies and a sapphire or lapis maybe in there. This funny coloured one up here is what takes the back of the painting. So when you look at a painting from the back, you get usually like a little bit of a almost wood texture in vanilla. This one's got a cleaner texture. It may take the sides of the paintings as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, it does. So if we change that to like a grey, it should blend in with the side of the roads as well. But there's a problem with that, and that's that on the ones that are or the ones that we're going to make into half slab paintings, which makes no sense, the grey is still going to wrap around the top here. It's not going to go along the bottom. So maybe we're going to be forced into actually removing these sides entirely. I think we're going to have to. So maybe that's step number one, is removing that entirely. I tell you what I'm going to do in case no, I don't think I can do it in a way that is going to save me if it goes wrong. We want to zoom in here and just, not that one, remove it all. Bing! That makes that part transparent. And then the two paintings that we want is the squid one for the full ones and the creeper faces for the half ones. So squid, full. All we need is pretty much just a grey side. It's just the side of the roads. We want something grey, something with some lines in it to make it a little bit more appealing if we can, but nothing that looks anything like the road pieces. We want it to look like a nice solid front. So we're going to make a new layer so I can undo stuff or delete stuff without affecting it too much if we want to. We're going to make a somewhat grey layer first that we're going to cover up. Hello? Can I not? Why you not want me to draw? I could... Oh, click. There we go. No, I know there was no pixel selected. There we go. We want to really colour in the whole painting first with this grey. It's a nice, not important grey, if you know what I mean. It doesn't stand out. It doesn't look like it means something. It's just a plain grey. That sped things up, didn't it? And then we'll colour in the rest of this. Now what we want to have is, we don't want any border around this because obviously we're going to be placing them next to each other. So we definitely don't want to go around the outside with anything. We want to keep the lines all horizontal. And I think I like this grey at the top. And then I want to go into a slightly lighter grey for maybe a couple of strips. So something like there and there. And then we'll get a darker one. We'll leave 2 and we'll go into the darker grey. 3, 4. We'll then get the lighter one back again for 2. We have to think about the half-sized one as well. So I think what we're going to do is do exactly the same thing at the bottom. So we want to have that one And that one. Get the darker ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks like that makes this middle one 4 blocks thick as well. I think that'll actually work better than you might believe. Now, if we grab this, this is the nerve-wracking part. We're going to have to grab this halfway, copy it, and come over here and paste it on top of the creeper. Like this. Now, we only want to use half of it. That's going to be the height of, hopefully, exactly 1/2 slab, which means anything above it needs to be deleted. I don't know how well this is going to work. In my head, it's going to look great. In reality, it might not. Let's save this and jump into Minecraft. Okay, if you're the kind of betting person, this is the time that you want to say if you think it's going to work or not. Hey, that looks pretty good from the side. Now, it does leave a little slither of like invisible down the side because obviously we had to remove the aging texture. If we left the texture on, we would have had a line that goes straight up here and then across top. It really wouldn't have looked good, but that I'm actually really happy with. Right, we can see exactly where it's going to go. Obviously I didn't have this one set up correctly, but we just want the right one. There we go. That one I can't do anything about. There really is nothing I can do about. And then for the legs, all we do is we now move them. Whoops, hello. We just move them in. Something like that. I might even double them up, obviously, so they're the same on this side. I don't know. We'll have to figure something out. But that's really cool. I'm really happy with that, actually. I think it was the best option for us. I think it was better than the item frames. I think it was better than the cobblestone walls that we had currently. Obviously, where the bridge is, I'm going to leave the cobblestone walls. We want the bridge part of it to look wider. But yeah, no, I'm very happy with that. I think that looks a lot better. Still not perfect, but a lot better. And oh my, yes, does it look the same from the back? Wow. Okay, so the only thing that I'm not happy with is I think the poles are maybe a little bit too thick. I think we done a little bit of overkill on the thickness of it, but that looks pretty sick, right? As a sunflower. Now, the heads of these will turn depending on the time of day, as you guys most likely know. The sunflower heads will always point at the sun, so if I do time set 100, oh yeah, because the sun. But if the sun rises that way, then that's not so bad. Time set 9,000. Do they not? I thought they followed the sun. They do. They're meant to follow the sun throughout the day. Oh well. Doesn't bother me that much. Okay, so I just need to make that a little bit smaller. I'll do that. I shall show you the finished look, and I think we'll have to end off the episode, okay? I'll be back. Okay, so I made it 2 pixels thinner, and I think that's a width that I'm now happy with. It doesn't look that bad at all, does it? Look at that. I'm so impressed. Great suggestion. Great suggestion for making the sunflowers into the wind turbines. That looks really cool. That's all I've got time for, though, this episode. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you haven't already, then feel free to subscribe. We shall see you in the next episode, where we might be texturing up something else. I might also, off-camera, make the bridge or make the sides of these roads all the nice painting blocks, okay? Bye!